Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So obviously this past weekend we saw Teofimo Lopez versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez pulled off the upset win and he became a unified lightweight champion. Now, it was what it was to me. I felt Teofimo Lopez won a close fight. I felt the fight was closer than the judges had it. I had it 7 rounds to 5 for Teofimo, but I felt he was the rightful winner. And yeah, it was what it was. I was very impressed with Teofimo, and I gave the guy credit for beating a great fighter like Lomachenko. But it seems like a lot of reaction to this fight is just bordering on hysteria. So many contradictions and embarrassing takes on this fight. I mean, and we see it a lot with these high-profile fights, whether it be Fury, Wilder, the list goes on, right? But first and foremost, I've said this before, but there are so many people out there who live vicariously through these fighters. And I have brought this up in the past, but to me it never stops becoming embarrassing. It feels like a lot of people out there, when their favourite fighter wins, they go beyond being a fan and just being happy for their guy winning. They go beyond that. They almost take their favourite fighter's win as a positive in regards to their own lives, like they've achieved something as well. They'll take their fighter's achievements and they'll almost wear it as their own achievement, if that makes sense. It's really, really cringeworthy stuff. And I've noticed this a lot in the past. And I've noticed this in particular mainly in like the last 4 to 5 years, I would say. But yeah, we have fight fans out there, and I use that term lightly, fight fans. These people aren't really fight fans. They are just disturbed, depraved individuals, but when their favourite fighter wins, it makes them feel happy about themselves, and it validates their own existence. That's how sad a lot of these people are, It really is embarrassing. And, every single big fight these days, high-profile fight we see, it seems like there's always some sort of mass hysteria after the event. I understand in certain circumstances, like when it's a massive robbery, like Golovkin-Canelo one, for example. I understand, that's different. That's a different conversation, but we've seen it with so many big fights recently, and it's both sets of fan base, whether it's for the losing fighter's fan base or the winning fighter's fan base. I mean, look at Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, for example. Now people are out here saying that Vasyl Lomachenko was no good, he was overrated, he was a hype job, and these same people, in the same breath, will then turn around and say how great Teofimo Lopez was, what a performance, this guy's the future, he's pound for pound. Well, if Lomachenko wasn't that good in the first place, and he was a hype job, how can you give somebody all this credit for beating him? It makes no sense, you can't have your cake and eat it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of fight fans are just so... they are far too emotionally invested, not in the sport, but the individuals participating, whether it's because of race, ethnicity, nationality. That's what they're really invested in, not in the sport, not in the fights, just, things that validate their own sad existence. That's the reality in regards to a lot of boxing fans from what I've seen over the years. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of a fighter, there's nothing wrong with being happy when your favourite fighter wins, or one of your favourite fighter wins. Nothing wrong with that at all. But when you take it a step further and use it to validate your own existence, it's a little sad in my opinion, If my favourite fighter loses, my favourite fighter, for example, is Artur Beterbiev. Let's say Beterbiev gets knocked clean out in his next fight. Yeah, I might be disappointed for an hour or two, but after that, normal service resumes. I've still got to go to work. I've still got to pay my bills. I still need to encounter any problems that may arise. Do you think, let's say Beterbiev wins a fight, and the next day I go out and my car gets a puncture, do you think I think to myself, well, listen, I've got a puncture, but Beterbiev won last night, so it's okay? No, I'm fucking pissed I've got a puncture. A fighter winning doesn't validate my own existence and how I feel about myself. And the reality is, for a lot of fight fans, that's not the case. I've heard people say that boxing mirrors society, and I think that statement is very true. When you look at boxing in 2020, it mirrors society in a lot of ways, whether it's racial divides, political divides, mental health issues, the lack of taking responsibility in one's life. So many issues that are prevalent in today's society manifest themselves in boxing, right? And listen, the people who are on either side in regards to the political thing or the racial divide, whatever it may be, these guys think they're woke, but in reality, they are turkeys voting for Christmas. They'll be the first ones to the chopping block, the easiest ones to control. You know, it's just crazy, man. It really is. People, in my opinion, just need to stop being so emotionally invested in certain fighters and realise it's not that deep. There are more important things going on in the world right now in which they are oblivious to and blind to. I understand people get disappointed when their favourite fighter loses. I understand that. That's natural, but yo, turn it down a little bit though. Honestly, turn it down a little bit. And it's cool, when a fighter gets robbed, we'll complain about it. When there are scorecards which are too wide, we'll complain about it. Like Lomachenko Lopez, I felt a couple of the scorecards were terrible. And that needs to be addressed. But, bruv, honestly, seriously, come on, man. It's just that every single big fight these days feels like it's contaminated with these toxic boxing fans who bring their baggage to the table and display it for the world to see. I mean, there's nothing strong about that. It's not stoic. You look like a pussy-hole, quite frankly. So do better. Ultimately, this is a sport. It's entertainment. This is supposed to be an escape from the real world. But people bring their baggage to the table and it just poisons the environment in which is the YouTube boxing scene and just social media boxing in general. I've noticed this for a long time, and that's one of the reasons actually why I've been going solo recently. I just can't be bothered with all this BS, to be honest. That's what it is, really, you know? I'll make my opinions clear on boxing, and that's all it is, really. And I'm pleased and thankful that, you know, the channel this is, the community that we are, there's not too much of this, there's really not any of this sort of fuckery in this community, so I really appreciate that. I mentioned that the other day in my thank you video, but I genuinely really mean it. This community that we've got right here, in my opinion, is one of the best on the YTBC. It's not infected with absolute cancer, you know? And that's definitely one of the reasons why I continue with this channel. You know, I love boxing, and it makes it better when you've got reasonable people, may not agree with you all the time, but reasonable people who listen and contribute to the community. So, yeah, man, you guys are brilliant. Keep up the good work on your side, man, because you guys really are making it worth it right now. But, yeah, man, I think I've rabbited on far too long now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Just something a little bit different. I've been meaning to talk about this sort of topic for quite some time, actually. I think I mentioned it in regards to Fury Wilder 2, The Aftermath. I'm pretty sure I touched on it then, but I thought I'd get it out of the way now. Interesting topic, but an unfortunate topic, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on this topic. But do you know what? I would actually like to delve into this topic a lot more thoroughly, but with how YouTube is in 2020, there are certain topics in which you can't really touch without becoming blacklisted in some regards anyway. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here, I think. I'm going to leave it here. But yeah, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.